So start with the selling out piece for now.
I've always had a really weird relationship with this idea of selling out, because when I started my career, I wanted to be a really serious artist. And so the idea of selling out was like, oh, I won't do this, I won't do that. I can't be seen as somebody who just wants to make money through my art.
That's what selling out is.
Which is not really the actual definition of selling out, but I think that's how we see it.
I'm asking more than anything.
From a jealous standpoint a lot of the time. And the real definition is somebody who compromises their morality or their ethics in order to make money or profit somehow. But the way that we see it as artists is, oh, well, that artist is out, like, they moved to Hollywood and they're doing all this stuff and they're making so much money. Right, exactly. And so my point is not that I'm not trying to redefine selling out. I'm trying to say that we as a society see it in the wrong way a lot of the times. We use it in the wrong way.
Well, and I think you just mentioned this, but that's fueled by envy.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yes, and I really think it is. And for me, it certainly was. I really struggled with jealousy a lot when I started my career, and I had a hard time looking at other artists and trying to reconcile where I was in my career versus where other people were, which I think is very normal, but I recognized it was very unhealthy. And I started to assign this term sellout to people that were successful because I wasn't successful. Oh. And I see this happening all the time in our industry.
You were bitter.
I was bitter, yeah.
So you don't struggle with that anymore?
No. And I've worked for a long time not to, because it was a huge part of my identity. I mean, I would have said I'm a very jealous person, and I always was my whole life. Yeah. And it's not like there aren't times where I have envy and I wish that I could be that person or something. Right. But for the most part, I'm really happy to watch people succeed, and I recognize that I'm not going to start failing because they're succeeding.
But how much of that is also because you are, in a sense, and you can debate me on this one, but how much of it is because, in a sense, you're on the other side of success now?
I don't know. And I think
that's
about
an
this
honest answer.
all the time.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah, it is. And I've really thought, especially even since you reached out about this topic, I've been thinking about that. Because I don't know. It's hard to say, like, when that switch happens, like when you feel like you're on the other side of success and then suddenly you feel like you can't be brought down because of that. I don't know, and I don't even have an answer to that. So it's a tough question.
Well, that's what goes through my mind, because I'm always stunned by really wealthy people that tell people that aren't really wealthy all kinds of advice.
Yes.
About how, like money advice. Now, that's not to say that they don't have, valid points, right? But when they're talking about fear, and when they're talking about, all these different things that from a financial standpoint they shouldn't have, like if you're a billionaire and you're worried about money, maybe there's like a psychosis type of thing going on there. But for you to go to somebody that's, struggling on, $6 an hour or $12 an hour or wherever, someone, like a single mother that's really struggling, and you're giving them advice about fear and money.
Yes.
Well, that's really easy for you to say.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I completely know what you're saying. Yeah.
And so for you to be successful and then say, well, I don't struggle with the bitterness or the jealousy anymore, right? Doesn't that fit? Well, of course you don't, because you're there. Yes. You made it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. And it is a very difficult thing to reconcile. And I know that in my journey, I recognized my jealousy right away. And I said, I can't act like this toward other people because it's bringing me down and it's not helping me at all.
Right.
And I started to try to change it before I would argue that I had any success at all. And I don't know how successful I was, because I can't remember how I was feeling that long ago.
Sure.
But at the same time, I think there is a lot of good in accepting people wherever they are and recognizing that we can probably be mutually beneficial to one another. And sometimes it honestly helps me to be selfish in those moments and say, well, that person can help me just like I can help them.
Sure.
And so it helps you to not feel bitter toward that person.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this conversation presented by White House Custom Color on YouTube. Be sure to check out our other content and click that subscribe button right there. Right. Right there. It's there somewhere.